All right, perfect, Jeff. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. You know what? More than anything, I've never had a Smoove conversation before, so this is brand new to me.
Awesome.
I'm also terribly terrified with all the hyping you've been doing since I've been here, and I have to live up to the expectations. So we're going to try to do our best. And I also am honored to be your first guest.
Thank you.
AKA guinea pig test guest, making sure everything works before the real guests show up in the future. So.
Hey, we don't do no practices. We just jump right into it, brother.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You better be careful because live radio can be dangerous.
Yes,
so.
you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeff, for those who don't know you, you mind just explaining who you are, what you do, so the people can get to know you a little bit better?
Oh, well, I am a man of many hats. I've seen that you guys coming from the studio interview musicians and people to do community service and people that own their own businesses and all that sort of. And I'm all of those things combined.
Yes.
So basically, day gig is a real estate agent. In fact, just did a open house on the 16th floor of the American Towers today, which was a lot of fun. It was a really cool view watching the storms roll in that came in today from up high.
Nice.
So that's interesting. That also is a good thing about, bringing out the customer service and such. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy helping people. And, I love my city. I love my town. And I love to show people around. So it's a good time. What else? Musician-wise, I've been a touring ska reggae keyboardist for more than 3 decades.
Right on.
And if you want to hear some rock and roll lifestyle stories, we can give you some of those
as
well.
We're going to jump into those.
Yeah, well then, earmuffs for all the little ones at home. Okay?
You hear that, parents. Make sure you got earbuds for your kids. They're at home.
This was not the Barney tour or... I don't even know what a current cartoon is right now. Bluey.
Bluey. That's the one right there.
There
Bluey.
we go. Yeah.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've been watching kiddo stuff. But anyway, I remember taking my son to see Bob the Builder live, and So anyway. I guess we're not going to be talking about those tours. These are a little bit more...
maybe not Bob the Builder.
Maybe more seedy bar tours. So here you go.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about just like your music background. I remember we met probably maybe a little over a year ago, maybe 2 years. I can't remember. When you have a good friend, time just goes. But yeah, tell me a little bit about your music background. You told me some interesting stories that I think everyone needs to hear.
Well, if you want to go way background...
Yes.
Sax player in high school,
Mm-hmm.
got a scholarship to the University of Utah playing saxophone. And at the time, since I was a horn player, I wanted to start a band that featured horns.
Mm.
And so I started a ska band.
Cool.
I had one version of it in high school, which I was just kind of discovering what type of music I want to play. And I played all sorts of type of music, but it was more along those lines. And then starting around 1991, I did the band, put that together that I currently have today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're a Utes fan. I've seen you at the games before. How did you feel about this year's basketball season?
Disappointing. But,
okay.
Yeah. Actually, though, even though when we're losing...
Mm-hmm.
The music that D Smoove plays in the Huntsman just brings the house down. So I cannot feel terrible when you're in the house spinning the tunes.
Hey.
Yeah. So, and I normally sit right directly across from you, a little bit down, so I can look up and I can see you vibing up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate
up there
you.
On the concourse area. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So as far as sports, basketball, yeah, big-time Utes fan. Obviously a disappointing season. I'm also the Jazz, too. I'm just like, any basketball team named Utah that I support seems to be...
I love it.
It'd be on a little a downturn right now, but Overall, when you're a fan through the good times and the bad times.
That's a true fan.
Yeah, so I still, support them. I'll be there next year with a new coach. So we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see what happens with that.
That's right.
I do football too, and So I'm a Utes fan. I was born that way. I was raised. My father was Major League Utes fan. He got his master's degree from the U, and so
that's cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask there. So.
Then I want to ask you questions, man.
Okay, sure. You can ask me a question. Hey,
I mean, you said conversation, not interview, right?
Let's have a conversation.
I need to practice my Smoove for a Smoove conversation.
I love it. What question do you have for me?
Smoove. Oh, I was just wondering when you're DJing up there at the U, we got into it a little bit. How you have your headphones on and you're taking direction. You need to know when you're supposed to play or when the band plays, and also you need to stop on time, or else you could get a technical from the refs and
That's
stuff
true.
like that, or when the ads are coming on or promotions are happening, all sorts of. There's a lot of plates in the air for those games.
True.
But are you of all the tunes you play in the arena, what percentage do you program, and what percentage are you encouraged to play? Let's put it that way.
That's a great question. So I've been fortunate enough this is my second season with the Utes. My first full season. Last year I did about half the games, but this year they actually gave me pretty much full trust. And with that, prior to the season, I put together a few, songs for each category that we may go into timeout. So for like the drummer cam or the guitar cam, or just like fan cams, I had a little bit of some songs that I would dedicate to those segments. But outside of that, I was just playing in the moment. We're losing. I'm not about to play, Little John, something crunk or nothing like that. But I had to make sure that I had a plan B or even a plan C at some times. So they really gave me the full control to really manage the game. And I wear 2 headsets. I'm wearing my DJ headphones. I'm also wearing the headset for just talking to the controls. So I talk to the game director, and we're basically just reading off a log script. So we try to go off it the best we can off the schedule, but things happen. We're doing this live, and we just try our best to execute the schedule.
All right, are you going to get the gig for next year too?
I just confirmed that I will be DJing next year.
Oh, 3 years in a row.
It'll be 3 years in a row.
Okay, so I'm going to put a challenge to you for year 3.
Okay, what's that?
I want you, say, during a timeout, like a television timeout, because those are timed and planned. I want you to develop a traditional sing-along. Because, I went to see Utah play Florida, and they do I Won't Back Down. Everybody sings along to that,
right?
The Tom Petty song. I know, obviously Sweet Caroline, everything.
Classic.
I forget what university sings the Killers song, Mr. Brightside.
They do. They love that song.
Yeah. So all those songs are taken. So you're going to have to come up with one that the Ute arena people during a TV timeout wants to sing along.
Wow. What a challenge. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. And you talk to the marketing or whoever runs the Jumbotron and, have sing along, like kind of karaoke with the lyrics going by and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing.
I think that's cool. I like that idea. Is this your idea, or just something the fans in general you think will be just in love with?
Oh, it's my idea. I just came up with it.
I knew it was your idea.
But I think the fans would dig it for
Okay.
sure. I would dig it.
I love that.
I don't know. Something to think about.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know. So you told me in the past, and I think it's cool to bring up now, that you actually had some songs that was playing in the Delta Center during the Jazz games that were actually curated by yourself. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, it's actually not a bunch of songs. The title track off of our first album, which turned 30 just now.
Congratulations. Let's go.
Yeah. The title track was played for player introductions for 2 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was quite the honor,
I believe it.
Yeah, and actually a couple of the backup point guards, they actually came to one of my gigs and said, "We get so pumped up when we hear that song come on," and so that's a little feather in our cap. And then beyond that, during that time period, we also performed live during the playoffs. So
nice
at the arena. So
very cool.
Yeah,
man. With all these cool stories, I mean, just tell me, like, what inspired you to even get into music in the first place?
Because I was terrible at math.
That's a great reason. I love that answer. Okay.
That. And I'm just a creative, and I love music. I mean, even growing up, my mother, when we were coming up to a stop sign, would pump the brakes coming to a stop to the beat of whatever song was on.
No way.
So we were like bouncing back and forth to the beat coming
goodness.
to a stop.
That's awesome.
And that tradition continued with my kids. I did that as well. So yeah, just music has always been a big, important part of my life. I mean, my mother I guess I'm talking about my mom. My mom was probably my biggest musical influence, and she didn't play anything, but she just played cool music all the time.
Right.
And back when I was a little boy, there was a thing on the TV you would order called K-Tel records. And so basically, it's like the '70s version of now that's what I call music. You know, that's serious. Yeah, it's like that, but albums. And I was a latchkey kid at the time. My mom was a school teacher. My dad ran our family furniture store, and so I'd get home first, and the package usually was like 5 or 6 albums of all. It's a compilation of all sorts of different songs.
Right.
And it would come, and I'd ask my mom if I could open it, and she said yes.
Nice.
And we had one of those old school console stereo systems.
Okay.
It almost looks like furniture, but it's a stereo system. And I put that on and listened to the A and B sides of all 6 albums, and figured out which ones were my favorites and stuff like that. So that was, and then also I even with my youth growing up, I associate music with life events. Like life events will happen, even ones you don't expect at all, good and bad. And I remember what song was on.
Right.
When, all of this experience was happening.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that was just I don't think I gave you a specific answer of how I got into music. And then, like I told you, my mom forced me to take piano lessons, which I hated at the time, but I'm glad she did, because then I learned how to read sheet music, and then, then I decided to go and play the saxophone, and now I've come full circle. I ended up getting better horn players than me to be in my band. Yep. So now I'm back to the keyboards. So
I've seen you, and I've seen you on the keyboards. You're rocking it, man. You're rocking it. Shout out your mom there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and always had the bug of event planning, and I have, even when I was a little boy again, I would do shows for my family at like my grandparents' house. They had the folding closet doors, like they fold out and then they fold back in.
Okay.
And I used that as a curtain.
No way. You talking about the barn doors?
Yeah, and then it came apart, and there I was, and I had, work lights on either side.
I love it.
And then put on a record and sang along, stuff like that.
So creative.
I think I dug show business from a very, very young age. So.
I love that. That's cool. As you're talking, I'm just painting a picture, and I just see like young Jeff just doing all of these things. Just the young superstar that you are. Man, it's amazing. This is cool.
I don't know if my parents would have thought I was a superstar.
Hey, but you did.
Yeah. But I was also very good at being bad. I never got caught.
That's awesome. So you got a band right now. I've seen you guys play. Tell us about your band just a little bit.
Well, actually, you've seen me play with, just groups of friends and stuff like that.
Okay.
My actual band, we've actually been on hiatus for, 5 years now, something like that. But because my first album is 30, and I haven't really talked much about this, but it's in the process of being remastered.
That's amazing.
Yeah, both remastered for digital and for vinyl.
Okay.
Digital for sure, and it will be mastered for vinyl, but vinyl might have to wait a little bit because that's super expensive
I get that. It sure
to
is.
press records. But
Right.
we'll see. But with that, we need to celebrate it, so I think we need to get up and play those songs again and do a series of shows at the, maybe end of summer, early fall type of thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so we'll see. All those things are in the works.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
you heard it on Smoove Conversations first.
Smoove Conversations. Let me ask, do you have more than one album?
4.
4.
Yeah,
Which
4 albums, and we've been on, I think, 23 compilation albums.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite album out of the 4?
They're all very different.
Mm.
Yeah, they all definitely have their own personality. So it's almost, that standard line of it's like picking your favorite child.
Right.
You might have one, but you're not going to say it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, tell the audience this, because I'm sure there's some listeners out there that never put together an album or don't even know where to start. If you can tell somebody today, like, some advice from a pro, someone who put out 4 albums, what would you tell somebody who's trying to release an album or put together an album?
Well, the dynamics of doing all of that are way different than they were when I did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, the technology, you can make an album almost at the highest quality on your phone, almost. But definitely with a home studio, for sure you can make, high quality stuff. It just also, first find out who your audience is. First of all, your audience is you.
Mm.
What excites you? What makes, what type of music do you enjoy playing, or what type of music would you enjoy performing? Then comes the songwriting process, then comes the learning how to play an instrument process,
Good
or
point.
learning how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've taken vocal lessons before. I was put in a boys' choir for 3 years in late elementary school, and so I, worked on it. And so it doesn't come overnight. It definitely, you have to work. It's just like anything else. Practice, 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 practice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then once you got it together, you think you can put out an album, then, the songwriting process starts. Everybody's songwriting is different. Mine, for the majority of songs that I've written, start out either with lyrics, but more of all, I do a bass line.
Okay.
And then layer on top of that.
Mm.
And then you can hear the melody, and sometimes lyrics come to you. But no songwriting experience for me has been the same. They all kind of pop in, once in a while. Have you ever had that, like, I need to write this down because it just came in my head, and I'll forget about it.
100%.
Yeah, it's like that. I've gotten up in the middle of the night just to write down a line or something like that, and then you expand on it later.
Right.
Or just, this horn line sounds cool, so just record that. I have, I don't even know how many files of just one line, or me even, thinking of something when I'm, doing real estate or working, and I'll put it on the phone, and I'll put it on myself and go,
I like that.
just because that just came into my head, and I'll just record it and just save it. And, probably 95% of them don't do anything with, but one, you're like, oh yeah, that's, that works, and then you just layer on top of it or below it, and so. But obviously getting the songs together, getting, if you're a solo artist or a DJ, recording beats or whatever, you just, first even just noodle around and just see what, even if you don't know chords, just, do a series of, 3-4 notes together, and in your head what sounds good and what doesn't sound good.
Very true.
There's no specific path like, this is how you make a record.
Right.
It's just everybody's path to that point is completely different. And even the distribution of music is completely different than when I was pressing CDs, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even know if, when I remaster it, do I even need a CD anymore?
That's a great point. That's a great
or,
point.
I mean, do I just hand somebody a thumb drive or something
Right.
like that? Here you go. Or, we have actually right now at Bandcamp, if you just search Insatiable Ska on Bandcamp, I have, I believe, 9 songs up that anybody can download for free right now.
Oh, awesome.
Just to get people to that site. I just barely started that one, so I want people to come and, download. I think I have multiple songs from our second album, third album, and our live album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting anything from the first album because that's the one that's being remastered right now.
Okay.
So anyway, get over there, bandcamp.com, Insatiable Ska.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all heard it here. Real quick before we dive into the next segment, because I'm enjoying this conversation. This is definitely a smooth conversation. I'm going to play
Can
one
I
of your...
say that one more time?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm Jeff Evans, and I'm with DJ Smoove, and you're tuned into Smoove Conversations.
That sounded very smooth, brother. Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break here, guys. In the meantime, while I'm taking a commercial break, I'm actually going to play one of your songs that you gave us. This is another one that has you featured as a singer on it.
Oh, yeah. If I'm going to be interviewed, I'm going to definitely bring you a song that I sing on it. Right?
Well, let's let the audience hear it right now, brother. We'll be right back.
All right. Thanks.
Says he can do a thing. No one stops and he starts to sing. Can I have another one?
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Smoove Conversations with D Smoove. We have our special guest on the show, Jeff Evans. How you feeling, Jeff?
I feel good.
Awesome.
I feel smooth.
I love it. That was a great song, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Great job.
Yeah. That's off the second album.
Okay, that's your second album there?
Yeah.
Very cool. So I wanted to jump back into our conversation there. Man, you're so interesting. I want to learn so much about you. And, man, I see you out in the community. So you're in politics. You want to dive into that a little bit more for us?
I wouldn't say but I interested.
Ooh.
I when I was younger, I did run for Murray City Council twice and was squashed by like a bug both times. Because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love. I think a huge thing is community service. In fact, a podcast, actually a video podcast I did a couple of years ago called the Give Back Cast, was all about nonprofits and people servicing their communities, and there's just so much need for that right now. I mean, always, but it seems especially that people are struggling, and also, our political scene is just nutso, and I've enjoyed. I've kind of had this side thing going on as a moderator for Meet the Candidates nights. I've done Meet the Candidates nights for Salt Lake City 3 times, and Murray a whole bunch of times, and Midvale, and that's fun. And so, moderating, and if they start droning on, tell them to. That's it. Right. Next, and right. Just last month I hosted a legislative breakfast where the citizens could talk to their representatives, their state reps, and their state senators, and that was interesting. And I was just floored. The place was packed.
I saw your Instagram actually, and
it was packed, packed. And so that shows you that people want to become involved.
Yes,
they are interested. They have to. You have to be involved. I mean, everybody says no. It's just me. No, one person can start. A tidal wave of people doing great work.
Right.
And so I'm very passionate about that. Also, I served 4 years on Murray City's Arts Advisory Board.
Okay.
So I'm big into also arts programming.
Nice.
And promoting events and shows and stuff like that. So spent time on Murray City's Planning and Zoning Commission and just all sorts of things. So being involved in your community, I think is very important. And plus that also exposes you to other people you would never have met. And it's very rewarding, at least it is to me. And I really look forward to any opportunity for community service and such. And that also kind of spills into your work too, and that type of an attitude of taking care of people.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, first of all. In 2025, we're still early in the year. Still getting snow sometimes here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any events that you're looking forward to in this year? More than one, if you have any?
Man, that's a loaded. So I'm looking forward to that this year. And oh wow, I mean, I like all types of music. If you pull it off well, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to the Depot on Saturday to see a yacht rock cover band.
Very cool. I love that venue too.
Yeah, I've had a good fortune of playing the Depot at least a half a dozen times.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great venue.
Yeah, shout out to Depot.
Yep, shout out to Depot. I know where the load-in doors is, and we can sneak into shows. Okay.
I'm about to tell you the same thing. I've been in there a couple times. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how about one for you again?
I'm here.
You're here?
I'm here.
Okay. How did you get into DJing? And then this is with a follow-up question.
Okay.
Every time I've heard you, you're playing other people's music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any original material?
Yes. So I'll answer both of those. Starting off with how I got into DJing. It was actually 2019. I was just got done doing summer sales. I went to a friend's house at the time, and in his garage he had a DJ controller, and I remember the exact model. It was a Pioneer DDJ SB3, and I was like, "Hey, what is this?" You know, I never touched a DJ controller in person before, except for DJ Hero, the video game, and that was years prior. So, seeing a DJ controller, I was like, "Hey, can we connect this up real quick and play it?" You know, so in the garage we played some sounds, and I loved it. It was from that point I was like, I need to figure this out. Like, that was very cool, getting in touch of the buttons and the disc, just all of the jog wheel, all of those things. So I took it home. He let me borrow it, and it was during COVID, so everything was shifted to being at home, and I practiced every single day, literally every single day. And this was actually in our wasn't born son yet room at the time. So we was using his room as, you know, the studio, and crib and everything was in there. But yeah, that was basically the journey there. I started just getting to work every single day, and fell in love with it. Had my first gig months later, which was actually a pool party in Provo. And yeah, the story started literally with that. To answer part 2 of your question, I do have some original tracks, and I appreciate you bringing that up there. So last year I made the decision, which means to cut and to do. And I made one song. I said I was going to make one track, and I did that in December. So it took me literally a year, but I did it. And then this year I actually went and invested in my, you know, my producing a little bit more. Like you said, that at-home studio is all you really need. And I bought an MPC. And that has been a game changer. It's basically like you type in, you use buttons to basically create the music rather than your laptop where you drag and click the sounds onto your computer screen. So I'm using that, and I'm basically creating beats 10 times faster than I would on a computer. So at this time now I have about 6 songs that are released, and I could play one after the show. That's no problem for you, brother. But yeah, I got about 6 songs right now. They are on YouTube if you want to check those out.
You need to do a better job of promoting that then. Because I would have checked them out already if I'd have known. Do you need a publicist? I do that too.
No, I need some help.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. So that's actually a very inspiring story. You know, never have touched a piece of DJ gear ever, to just a few years down the road, you're the DJ for an NCAA Division I basketball team.
Yes.
In a Power 4 conference. So
it's amazing. When I think about it, it's like, wow, that all happened. But yeah, I think it was supposed to happen, you know, without a doubt. So I'm grateful for it. And yeah, it's only up. It's only up.
What was it like DJing that BYU Utah game?
Oh my goodness. I felt like I was playing. Like, I felt like I should have had a jersey on or something. And like, you know, I live for those rivalry games. I played football growing up, so for me it was like I felt like I was part of the rivalry. I had all the BYU fans literally right behind me chanting and booing, you know, whatever they wanted to say. And oh yeah, my music came strong that day.
Yeah,
I made sure the volume was cut up a little extra. I'm like, yeah, they gonna feel this.
Yeah. That was quite the experience for sure.
It was, if I'm not mistaken, 15,558 people. I got that number recorded.
Yeah, 553 people standing around, because I think the place only holds 15,000.
That's wild. I did not know that.
Yeah, they were just wandering around. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, luckily we was blocked off or fenced off, so nobody couldn't stand by me.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get requests
from the stadium?
From the audience?
I have. There's been a few kids that would say, hey, can you play Fiend by Travis Scott? And it'd be like while we're losing the game. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't play that song in this game, but maybe next game, you know. I'll make sure I try to fit in some of those songs. And some people actually from the MUS, which is the student section for the U, they'll reach out to me in my DMs on Instagram. Never met the person. And they'll actually say, hey, can you play this song? And that's what I love. I want to make sure I'm involved with the community, involved with the audience, so they feel like the DJ's listening to me. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned earlier, just they want to sing along and feel the energy as well too.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right.
So yeah, back to you.
Oh yeah. Nice transition.
Yes. I'm curious to know what Is there a particular genre, particular song that always puts you in a good mood?
Oh, there's a lot.
Mm.
And also what, say puts you in a good mood. A different song, it kind of depends on where you're coming from to get into that good mood.
Okay.
Maybe, am I just tired, or or something crap happened today or something like that,
Yeah.
or am I stressed out about something coming up? So all these different zones require different songs to get up to that happiness level again.
Makes sense.
So there's quite a few of them, but what's the title of the Bob Marley song?
Is
When music hits you, you feel no pain.
Mm.
I like that one. My favorite band of all time is The Police.
Cool.
So Lonely is one of my favorite songs, and there's just so many. There's just so many.
That's awesome.
And I try to keep up as much as possible on current music too.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, when you're starting to get old, when you see half of the Ogden Twilight concerts announced and you don't know who they are, or even worse, the new
Right.
the Salt Lake Twilight, they just barely announced their lineup, and I was like, I think I know them, and I think I know them.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's hard to keep up with everything, but
True.
mm-hmm.
Like you said, music's being released so quickly. You can just
Mhm.
do it from your phone. So
Exactly.
it's an upload every day of new songs.
Mm-hmm.
I got a good question for you.
Uh-oh.
If you can record a song with any artist, dead or alive, who would that be?
That's a dumb question.
That's an amazing question.
That's just another loaded one. Obviously, well, if we're going to go dead, Prince.
Why Prince?
Amazing songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Just still, Purple Rain is one of my favorite movies and soundtracks, just the messaging. And yeah, definitely Prince for sure. Obviously, since I'm a Police fan, Sting.
Okay.
Yeah. Reggae greats, Bob Marley.
Yes.
I mean, that's an easy one, but maybe more so who's also passed, Peter Tosh.
Okay.
And, that's such a loaded question. You can go in the jazz world,
Yeah, I love it. Hey, expand. Let's go.
Yeah, everybody's like, but, great sax players, Oh, you know who else?
Who's that?
Freaking James Brown, too.
Oh, come on now. That's a legend right there.
Mhm.
All of the people you named are legends.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Were you
Because I
dancing
feel
like James
good.
Brown?
I feel good.
I know. Were you dancing like him back in the time?
Just so you knew how I would now. I feel good. So good.
I love it. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, obviously,
No dead air, dude. No dead air.
no, not there. I'm just gonna say, like, obviously, I know you for a little bit there. Is there anything that you want to say to the people who don't know, or is there something that you haven't shared yet that you want to share with everybody?
Oh, honestly, I'm just happy to have your acquaintance and become friends with you. I mean, that's what, like, getting out there, networking yourself. I mean, I'm not really, you might, I seem like an outgoing person. I'm kind of a shy dude when
too.
it comes to meeting new people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I like, sometimes it takes putting yourself outside of your comfort zone,
Right.
to make things happen. And that's, you have to try things the first time. I mean, being in a band or doing, any entrepreneurial thing, you're going to fail a lot before you succeed.
Right.
So it's about, getting back up again and, all these, I feel like I'm just rattling off cliches and
It's
stuff
okay.
like that.
It's
But,
okay.
and then beyond that, I think be true to yourself. And that's that was a very hard thing for me to, at some point, you can't be everything to everybody.
Right.
And if you're true to yourself first, then the good people, they end up just showing up.
True.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to purge people that are toxic in your life.
That is very true. 100%.
And I've had to learn some of those lessons the hard way. So,
Right.
I don't mean to get all deep and sad or anything, but
We're just talking.
it's a smooth conversation.
That's right.
So, I would like I just expand my creativity. I think anything, try something new if you're interested in it. Try it out. I want to take lessons, like for example, to how to use DJ equipment.
Okay.
And how you transition from songs. I noticed you just put out a how-to video not so long ago.
I did, yes.
And that's fascinating. I was like, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There'll be more of those too, by the way. So for those listening, I do teach DJs how to grow their careers from beginner to pro.
And what's the name of that business?
Hey, that's still D Smoove right there. That's still D Smoove. So I follow me on YouTube. I teach there long format, and then on Instagram I do short format.
Smoove lessons.
Yes.
Smoove tutorial.
I love it. Well, Jeff, I want to conclude with this. Thank you, of course. But where can we find you? Where can we get access to Jeff's social? Where can we find you at, brother?
Oh, I'm all over social media like a bad rash. More of like personal and travel and just general goofiness you'll find on Jeff Goes Social on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
And for real estate on all platforms, it's Jeff in the House Realty.
Nice.
Jeff in the House Realty. And also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You put in Jeff Evans and you scroll past the 500 or so that come up, and then you'll find me.
Then we find you. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, Jeff, I want to say thank you for coming in the studio today. This was an awesome, smooth conversation.
Yeah, not bad for a test run there.
Yeah, thank you for being my first guest. This is amazing.
We can critique it afterwards, huh?
We sure can. Exactly. Well, guys, thank you.
Yeah, but more so, I want to thank everybody who tunes in and supports local radio.
Yes.
Local, independent, volunteering, just, doing a public service. You're doing a public service right now, and it's amazing. And all the folks here that put together this studio and run this show, all the time, it's very impressive. So, and this is not an easy thing to get up and off the ground and promote and stuff, and to have the honor of being your very first guest is pretty freaking fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. Hey, this is history made right here.
You're right.
Well, do you want to introduce your song?
I don't know which one you have on deck.
It's the one up there.
I can't see.
Okay. It goes SKA.
Ska Band.
That's right.
Okay. This one, the lyric, this comes back, was from our early touring days when the first van we owned was a white Chevrolet 12-passenger van. And the song is, I want to play in an 8-piece ska band and travel the world in a Chevrolet van. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning into today's show. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and an amazing rest of the week. This is Jeff Evans. Thank you so much.
Thank you.